Hello YouTube, it's Old Geek again, and I'm back browsing through the Dragon, and we're on to edition 7, or volume 2 number 1, because there were 6 editions in the first volume. Still $1.50, and this magazine is entitled The Dragon's Birthday Party. Would have been a year. Happy birthday, Dragon. And there we have a dragon enjoying its birthday gifts. It appears to have dined out on unfortunate adventurers. What more does a dragon want for its birthday than fresh meat and extra loot? It's not a terrible cover. Not a terrible cover at all. Very apt for this magazine. So, probably the best cover yet. Right, 25mm fantasy figures on the inside cover. This now says Dungeons and Dragons. So, this is obviously, yep, it says at the top, a new range. So, minifigs have joined up with D&D to create figures specifically for D&D rather than for wargaming. Excellent. Excellent. Signs of progress in the industry. And if you look at the miniatures available, a set of 5 dwarves, $2, 42 cents each. That would have been about 20 pence each in British money at the time. You know, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. Okie dokie, moving into the editorial bit. Tim Kask is still writing this, and it looks like it continues over to page 6, so it's a longer editorial. But what's in this edition? We've got Strategists Club Ballot, alternate number generation methods, the origins of D&D, mapping the dungeon. Mystery Hill, America's Stonehenge, The Journey Most Alone, Saga of Magic, military formations of Tecumel, bonus figure plate, featured creature, the Prowler, Editor's Library, Ogre and the Judges Guild reviewed, and the Gnome Cache. So, Tim Kask begins by celebrating it being the 2nd year of production. And yeah, he picks up on the less than excellent cover that adorned it. Yeah, the artwork has improved. Definitely. So, steps forward. 3rd Annual Strategist Club Awards. Oh, this is voting. Okay. So you're voting for outstanding game design, outstanding professional wargame publication, miniatures rules, miniature series, and fantasy gaming hall of fame. Some posthumous C.S. Lewis, Clark Atkinson. Oh, it's people who've had an influence on the hobby. Yes, yeah, fair enough. Look at the games that are in there. Dungeons and Dragons isn't in there for outstanding game of 1976, maybe because it came out in 1974 originally. But okay. Moving on. Kingmaker, Avalon Hill. I think I played a PC conversion of that. It was that game, and I really enjoyed it. So, that voting is underway. What to do if the dog eats your dice? Chits, YouTube. Okay, calculators, cutting cards, numbered straws. Yeah, different ways of generating random numbers in the days before the home computer. And still we use dice, even with the home computers and the phones and whatever, because dice are better. But I know Chits came with one of the early box sets. I never had a calculator that had random numbers. Playing cards. I've done a character generation method using playing cards that worked quite well. But yeah, there's lots of ways of doing things randomly, properly randomly. But the best way is dice. dice go clicky clacky across the table, and they look good, and they're nice and chunky. So, but still, it is a useful article, and a breakdown of percentages being rolled with, well, estimated percentages being rolled using standard D6. And a cartoon, cheap cartoon, double or nothing. Okay, a 2 to 1 and double or nothing. Heads again, you eliminate my hero and owe me $10. Okay, it's not funny. When I was captain of a cricket team, I always used to call tails the coin toss at the start, because tails never fails, and I won a lot more coin tosses than I lost. Phone book and are there more? Okay, more dice methods. Mouse in a maze. All you need is a little plywood and a couple of dozen of half-starved mice. Oh dear. A dartboard on a lazy Susan. Oh, that's one of those spinning things, isn't it? We don't call them lazy Susans over here. I don't think. I've not heard them called lazy Susans, apart from in a video game, which was American made. The player or judge covers his eyes and opens a copy of his phone book and points his finger. That's a fair way of doing it, I suppose. Look, if you lose your dice, if your dog eats your dice, it's your own fault for not buying more dice. Because that is the solution to lost dice, more dice. TW will be Tom Wham, won't it? He did some amusing bits and pieces for the Dungeon Master's Guide. Don't think these are particularly funny. The expressions on the faces are good, but I don't think they're particularly funny. Gary Gygax on Dungeons and Dragons. The most frequently asked question at seminars which I've given on Dungeons and Dragons is, how did the game originate? Interesting. From the horse's mouth, the origins of the game. I know there were books about it, but the origins of the game. I'm going to come back and read this article, because this is... Yeah, I've probably heard it before. I've probably had it all regurgitated in forums. But this is the first time I've seen it with my own eyes. So bookmark this. An article on the origins of Dungeons and Dragons. Nice and short and digestible. Excellent. Obviously can't read it all out now. Mapping the Dungeon is the group finding thing. The UK still dropped off the list. Australia, Canada, Germany, and lots in the United States. What happened to the Cambridge club that was in there? Mystery Hill, America's Stonehenge. On England's Salisbury Plain. Yes, it's pronounced Salisbury, not Salisbury. Salisbury. On England's Salisbury Plain, south and west of London, stand the enigmatic monolithic structures known as Stonehenge, meaning hanging stones. No one can say for sure who constructed these massive stone pillars and arches, set in concentric circles, but it is believed the work was accomplished by an unknown method sometime before 1500 BC. People are still trying to work out how that was built. There's all sorts of hypotheses, but we'll never know for certain, will we? We will never know for certain. It's a beautiful, mystical place. But there's something in America of the same style. Further down, southern New Hampshire, near North Salem, there's a similar construction of stones, although Mystery Hill does not feature the huge monoliths of Stonehenge. Nonetheless, native field stone was piled in perceptible groupings to obtain the same results. It's believed they used them as... They align them with the sun and the stars and the moon, but the exact significance is... I've never read anything conclusive about it, but we know that they looked into the sky for, they looked to the sky for inspiration, to keep time, movement of the seasons, all that sort of stuff. It can all be read by sky watching, and our ancestors certainly did watch the sky. That's well known. But okay, Mystery Hill, no one knows who built that as well. Fair enough. That's an opportunity for a dungeon. The Mystery of Mystery Hill. Nah, won't quite work. Again, this sort of thing interests me, so I will come back and read this, because I'm already liking this issue with what it's got in it. It's got more articles with more gravitas to them already. Help the Lost Dice, Origins of D&D, Mystery Hill. This is good. This is much better. Ralpatha had some of their miniatures. Bit of artwork. Not terrible. Griffin dive bombing a castle ramparts, and it looks like a mage with a staff on there. The journey most alone. Is that mage going to be riding that griffin? Or is the griffin attacking the mage? We don't know. It's called The Journey Most Alone, so I'm guessing it's his steed. Maybe it's an evil mage about to climb aboard the griffin to go and plunder the villages of their loot. Doesn't look like the home of an evil mage, though. It's quite a pretty place it's in. But griffins were neutral, so it might just be a tame griffin. Anyway. Oh, okay. I should look ahead, shouldn't I? It's a bit of fiction. Right, okay. It's like a cover piece of art for some fiction, which, as you know by now, I don't read. Space Marines. Wasn't there an argument with Games Workshop trying to trademark that name, trying to register Space Marines? Here it is in 1977. Before Games Workshop existed, I believe. Fantac Games. If Fantac Games still existed, they'd have a case. So it's 6 pages, well, 3 pages so far, 6 columns, 8 columns, more artwork. It's not terrible artwork. Probably something to do with what's going on in the text. But yeah, 4 pages, about 8 columns of fiction. Military formations of the nations of the universe, and this is for Tecumel, the Empire of the Petal Throne. Okay, I don't know anything about Empire of the Petal Throne, but I do like military bits and bobs. So, military tactics. Again, it's an article I'll probably come back and read, because this sort of thing is interesting to me. I read about historical battles. I read up, what was it, the other week, I don't know if I mentioned it on one of these, I read about the Battle of Stirling Bridge, for example, where the Scots battered the English because they were sort of trapped trying to get over a bridge. One of William Wallace's biggest successes. It was carnage. Those sort of tactics, they're interesting. They're very interesting. We got our revenge on the Scots. But then they beat us at Bannockburn, and then I believe Edward III then got them back again. Yeah, that's what it was like at the time. So, yeah, lots of military formation stuff. All good stuff. All interesting to me. I'm not interested in sci-fi military stuff, but I do like medieval military. Yes. I'm going to keep going, because this is a big article. This is a big old article. Judges Guild advert. Good to see. Big article. The Meadow of Death. Sorry, I have to keep shifting my eyes. Have you visited the Dungeon Hobby Shop? Bit of artwork. That's Lake Geneva, isn't it? This Empire the Petal Throne artwork, is it? Don't know. Oh, no. In the never-ending quest to expand your Oh, of course, it's not going to be Empire Petal Throne because that was Asian themed. In the never-ending quest to expand your fantasy armour, you look at other figures. This painting by Mike Gilbert is inspired by the new minifigs Carolingian line with a touch of imagination. They fit into any fantasy army. Well, yes, they do. Here they're painted historically. Your imagination is the only limit as to how you could paint them. Well, I don't see why you wouldn't. If you'd got historical figures, I don't see why you wouldn't look to make them appear to be somewhat authentic. You'd use colours that were available to them at the time. Like rustic colours. Traditional dye colours. Bronzes and silvers. And rust tarnishing and things like that. Okay. The Prowler. Oh, this is only a very short one. There's no picture of a Prowler. It does 14. Evil, highly intelligent, magic. This is tough. Attacks, constriction, 4 to 48 hit points per turn. So 4d12 and an extra bite for 1d8. This is a high level creature. Oh, right. Okay. It looks like it creates undead. It blanks the mines, and the victim must make a save versus magic or be a zombie under the control of the Prowler. Those that save the Prowler will attempt to crush them with its coils. I'd like to see a picture of what this is because I've no idea. Maybe it's an early form of a Naga, perhaps. I know the Spirit Nagas had charm effects. They've spelled zombies differently. Zombies. Ooh, the zombies are then turned loose to wander aimlessly for about 2 to 8 days till the eggs hatch and disclose their wriggling contents. Cute little baby prowlers. The zombie now becomes their first meal. He lays down calmly as little devils pick his bones clean. I know a Call of Cthulhu scenario that features that sort of thing, and a few people who might watch this will know that scenario as well. Could that be where the Call of Cthulhu got it from? Anyway, I don't remember this creature being in D&D, so it's nice to see it. Okay, this is Phineas Fingers. One day in the marketplace, a new adventure. Well, he's back from the dungeon. Recent dungeon trip failure. Decided to give you an easy assignment. Yes, great guildmaster. Junior. JR or Junior? Oh, yes, it's Junior. Here's our newest recruit. Take him and make a master thief out of him. Right, Chief, no sweat. Well, kid, what do you say? Now watch me close. First I pick a victim, like this merchant here. Okay, as soon as he walks near, I jump. Hey, mister, watch out. Thanks, kid, you saved my life. Here's 1,000 gold pieces. Ha! That's actually quite good. The kid's clever. Phineas Fingers gets a scimitar through his chest, and the kid makes 1,000 gold pieces for warning the merchant. Clever kid. Clever kid. Oh, this is the featured creature. Ah, that's a prowler. Okay, looks like a legless carrion crawler, sort of. Errol Otis as well. It's quite Cthulhu-ish. Tentacles. Cthulhu meets carrion crawler. Editor's library, right, okay. I don't mind that bit of art. Not Otis's best, but it is suitably disturbing. It's Otis. Convention schedule. Okay, conventions are in full swing. Excellent. Well, I've got a convention coming up in June, hoping to go to. Wizards and Warriors, still spelling wizards incorrectly. I'm a pedant. Gnome Cash, still have this is chapter 7. I've not read the first 6 parts, so I don't know anything about it. Nomad Gods, this is about a fantasy board game with barbarian raiders. Okay. Chaosium, the Chaosium. Talking about Call of Cthulhu, is this the same Chaosium? I don't know. Somebody tell me in the comments. This is that fictional thing and a bit of artwork. Advert for Bob's Comics. Never seen that in a previous one. That's not a terrible piece of art. Very sort of hero-ish. That's very, very Jeff Dean style, with bulging biceps and skin-tight armour. Not very realistic, but yeah, it looks fine. You're missing out if you don't read Little Wars, the journal. It's an advert for historical battle games. Okay, that's fine. I'll miss out. This space for sale. Advertising space. And that is it. They're thinking of using the back cover for advertising space. Well, if the circulation has grown by 300%, they've got to make use of it. Yeah, why not? That's how it works in business. That was probably the best edition so far. Well, it's certainly up there with the one that had the new NPC character classes, the Fool and things like that. I quite like that one as well. But I do like that edition because it's got some articles in there with a bit of gravitas about them. I haven't been particularly happy with the last few because I don't know anything about Empire the Petal Throne, and the last one seemed to be full of fiction and adverts. It seemed a bit throwaway, but this one's a lot better, which is good to see. Anyway, hope you're enjoying this little tour through our gaming history. I've been the Old Geek. I'll see you again soon.